This is Sunday Supper. Kim Dixon has been the heart of James Bay New Horizons for more than 30 years. As Executive Director, she oversees the Seniors Activity Programs, the Seniors Assurance Program, which provides daily check-in calls to homebound seniors, and a variety of food support programs. In addition to her official duties, she also has an open-door policy, helping and advising seniors as they navigate the challenges of their senior years. And she has been known to provide the occasional emergency ride or a hospital visit when necessary. Kim received the City of Victoria Honorary Citizen Award in 2021 for her long-standing dedication to creating and supporting programs for seniors. And in 2024, she was awarded the King Charles III Coronation Medal for her significant contributions to senior connection and support. Food security and social isolation are always on the top of her mind. This is Sunday Supper.
So tonight we're having turkey, mashed potatoes, vegetables, and tea and coffee. And that's not that's a pretty normal meal for our Sunday suppers. The interesting thing about this James Bay New Horizons, is I'm never sure who's going to come in the door or what their questions will be asked. And I have an open door policy. So the receptionists know if somebody comes in and says they want to talk to the boss or who's in charge, they come down to my office. So about 15 years ago, a nice lady came in and she said, "What is this place and what do you do here? And then who's in charge?" So they brought her down to my office. Her name was Bev King. In conversation with Bev, she said, "If somebody were to give you $10,000, what would you do?" I said, "I know exactly what I do." I said, "One of the things that's lacking here is a social meal program." I said, "So on Sundays, when I was growing up, we always had my two aunts come over for supper, and my dad would make a roast beef or a chicken or a nice Sunday supper." So carrying with that tradition, I said we would do that. We would have a manageable group, which would be about 20 people. And I said, and I would have volunteers come and help serve the meal. She said, "Oh, that's very interesting. Who would do the cooking?" I said, "Well, we do not have a commercial kitchen here, but I said, I'm sure I can go over and talk to Beckley Farm Lodge, who we were partnering at that time with various programs." I said, "And they might do the cooking for us." She says, "Oh, all very interesting." About 3 weeks later, I got a call from United Way, and they said, a donation has been made to James Bay New Horizons in the amount of $10,000 for Sunday supper. I said, "Oh, very interesting. Be careful what you say and who you say it to." So we've been keeping with that program, and Beckley Farm Lodge did agree to do the cooking for us. And I said that program's been going on for 15 years now. And up until last year, Bev has kindly donated increments. So now we're getting $15,000 for that program so that we are able to have 20 people plus 3 or 4 volunteers come for Sunday supper.
Hi, everybody.
Program's valuable for a number of reasons. One, it brings semi-isolated seniors together that may not necessarily talk to each other. Some people come for different programs. Some people don't come to the center at all unless it is for a meal program. So we socialize. They might work on a jigsaw puzzle. They might just sit and have coffee. They might talk about the weather. They might talk about darn kids. Anything that they want to talk about. Because they don't have anybody else necessarily that they can talk to. Staff sometimes get to know people really well, but it's not that I can share their information and say, "Hey, Kirk, go talk to Nancy because she's lonely." So we can introduce you to each other and say, "Oh, Nancy has an interest in photography. Maybe you'd like to talk to her." And we do, when people are new coming to the program, we do try to buddy them up so that they have somebody to talk to during the meal period.
And for these to celebrate Ukrainian Christmas.
The second reason that it's nice to have Sunday supper is the fact that we know people will be coming in and having a hot meal and getting some nutrition, because it's usually a meat, potato, vegetable, dessert, tea and coffee kind of meal. So people that probably wouldn't take the time to cook that kind of a meal for themselves, are invited to come, and they literally just walk in and enjoy a nice hot home cooked meal. And the third reason is it's just a chance to get out. We have a lot of members that maybe for mobility reasons can't get out, or they live by themselves and they don't socialize as much as they could or should. So it's an opportunity for them to come down and meet new people. Or if they're newcomers, then they come down to the center and meet some people, and it gives them that introduction into coming into a social area for enjoyment and entertainment and socialization. If people tell us that they're interested in coming to the meal, then we put them down on a rotation. Unfortunately, like everything else, we have 125 people on the list. So some people get invited every week because of their circumstances. Some people get invited once a month because that's all they really want to come, is if you're out and about, but just enjoy coming down once a month. Other people just want to come and help out, so they might just come and help serve. But it's a chance for everybody to get to know everybody else, and a chance for them to get out and about and see and do something different. A lot of volunteers just come because they want to give back to the community for one reason or another. And it's really, we don't make it rocket science, and it's not that hard. But they come and put the knives, forks, spoons, cups and saucers and juice glasses on the tables. And then they'll go around with coffee and tea and make sure everybody's topped up. And then they help us serve the meals. And it's just like you would go to a restaurant, your meal is served to you at your table. And that way we don't have to worry about people mobility issues or having a queue for people to line up. If we were to, and I do this for stat purposes only, every year the City of Victoria asks us what our volunteers' hours are. If we were to work it out, and we do keep track, some people aren't as good as others about putting their hours down, but last year the equivalent full-time hours we would have to hire 19 full-time staff. With our budget of just over $400,000, we would never be able to afford 19 or 20 full-time staff. So the volunteers really are a godsend to this organization. But not only that, they have, because they volunteer and so many people help volunteer, it's an ownership into the center. So they know that they're valued. They know that they have a say. And some of them, as you know, when they quit work, it's like, okay, what's my purpose in life? But coming down and volunteering at the center, whether it be to serve food or to decide what puzzle they're going to do, to put tables and chairs away, or just to socialize with somebody that may be a little bit lonely, maybe just lost a partner or a spouse. You never know what circumstances are going to bring you in and what's going to keep you here. But like I say, just like the people that attend, we have a rotation of volunteers that come every other week or every week or once a month, and they help out, and we truly, truly appreciate it, because we couldn't do it without them. Ed is my voluntold husband. He comes down and helps set up the tables and helps does the dishes, and runs and gets the food for us for Beckley. So yeah, jack of all trades. And if he wants to see me, he has to come down to the center.
Early in our marriage, I was away a lot. And of course, my wife Kim had to look after one, then two, then three kids. And I was away even more once we had three. So, I don't know, old school, marriage is a partnership. And I feel that anything I can do to help her at this time, when I'm not going away anymore, it's all what I should be doing.
Security too. There's a lot of people that are suffering with a lack of food, and they come and get a great meal. and can take some home if they like. So, people come and they get to socialize, we get to meet new members, we get to meet the old members again, and people get a good meal. They look forward to it all week. They're really appreciative.
The funding for Sunday supper has been supported through the United Way by one family's dedicated bequest. The continuation of that funding is now in doubt, as the Family Foundation's heirs are reconsidering how their generosity will be distributed. Kim says that Sunday supper is safe for now, but is facing a long-term challenge.
We have money left over from last year, so this is the 26-27 season that we won't get funding. But we have another donee who has given us the money and said, if you don't get the money, I will cover that cost. So we have a second plan if needed.
James Bay New Horizons is a registered Canadian charity. If you would like to support this or any other seniors programs provided at JBNH, you can email executive@jbnewhorizons.ca, visit their website by Googling, or if you want to use postal mail, you can mail your letter to 234 Menzies Street, Victoria, British Columbia, V8V 2G7. Passport to Joy and Connection is a program of the Creating Community Wellness Society in cooperation with James Bay New Horizons. For more information, email passport to joy and connection @gmail.com or visit our Substack site at passporttojoyandconnection.substack.com. The music heard in today's video, titled Lobby Time, was licensed from Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com under a Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.